second now. Oh, there you go. Hello, YouTube. Been a while since I've done just a video for YouTube. I plan to do more. But sometimes it won't just be me teaching you witchcraft for free. Sometimes it's, me addressing other stuff. Because I have other channels where I'm teaching witchcraft too. And definitely give it a lot for free. I'll still give you some more because, I love you. You're my favorite people. Oh, look. I forgot to shave. Well, in my town, this is the common look, so I guess I fit in more now today than most days. But good to see y'all again. Today is not a lesson in witchcraft, it's a lesson in magic, it's a lesson in dealing with the people that do magic. Witch Wars. What the fuck? Now, those of you that know me, some of you may have tuned into my podcast where I talked about this very thing just last night. You can check out my podcast at Spreaker.com. It's like speaker with an R. Spreaker.com/Widdershins. If you don't know how to spell Widdershins, you clearly need to study more of the old ways. Have a podcast where we talked about the same thing because it's important. On that particular podcast, I have a segment called News from the Witch War Front, where we cover public witch wars. They're public to me because I'm on many people's pages and I see them going back and forth. So I see it's public, but not everybody is on those same pages and put it all together. Like a recent extremely public witch war with Raven Grimassi and Stephanie Grimassi and Christian Day and Brian Kane and Lori Bruno. Those are the sides. Grimassi's and Christian Day's and Bruno's and Brian Kane is Christian Day's husband, partner. I think they're married. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're married. At any rate, I've covered those kind of things. And not because I enjoy it, because it's ridiculous, it's silly, and it's kind of crazy, the shit that goes on in our communities. And if you're going to air your fucking dirty laundry, and I've got a show that needs material, I'm going to cover that story. It's not because I support the actions. Of late, just, a couple videos back, you'll note that I've been working on a series through my Gumroad courses. I've been teaching on Gumroad. I like teaching on Gumroad. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing my classes on through YouTube the way that I've been doing in my correspondence course. I may just start doing it through Gumroad. It's much easier. I really don't like to have to badger people for money every month. And when I have a course that has a monthly payment on it, I got to do that. It's success, like being a bill collector. I love the people that just fucking pay on time and don't put me through that. And every one of you out there that's done that, you get an extra blessing from Birch Tree, because I fucking hate that. I hate having them or people that I'll let people get like a couple months behind or something before I say anything, and I just hate to do that. It's like, oh, well, now you owe me like fucking $130 instead of $35. So teaching through Gumroad, I don't have to do that. I don't have that problem. It shouldn't be a problem that I have to have. So at any rate, I've been teaching on Gumroad, and a thing that came up, I did a poll. I did a poll in several places. I did it on YouTube and in several other places. And a couple of the other places where I did the poll, people wanted to learn combat magic, that kind of thing. Extreme protection, counterattack, that kind of thing. And I found not a whole lot of people teaching that kind of thing out there. And they do it for, moralistic reasons. They don't want to, I heard the argument, they don't want to give a child a loaded gun. I don't think it's like giving a child a loaded gun. I think it's like giving a child a gun, casings, primers, powder, and shells, and a bullet press. Saying, here, make some bullets and shoot people. Uh, not quite as simple as just giving a child a gun. So I digress. So I started a series, and I've done 3 of them so far. A series called Spiritual Warfare. What to do when you're caught in spiritual warfare, when you're magically attacked by somebody. None of the courses is how to attack somebody. It's how to fuck up somebody that attacked you outright and for good. Finally and forever. That's the premise of the Spiritual Warfare series. Caught less flack than I thought I was going to. It's controversial, and it's stuff that nobody or most people aren't teaching, and that's what I like to do. If nobody's teaching it, or few people are teaching it, or few people remember it anymore, Uncle Birch is going to teach that shit. And I'm not going to repeat the same crap that every motherfucker on YouTube's already telling you. I'll just send you their channel. I subscribe to a lot of people. They subscribe to me. I just send you their channel. If you want that shit, you want Uncle Birch. You want Uncle Birch's take. You want Uncle Birch to say what is not oft said, or what is not oft remembered, to teach what is not oft taught. That's the idea with spiritual warfare. That very few people teach that, and I understand their reasoning why they don't teach that. But the lack of that knowledge in the occult world is why we have so many magical bullies. I use that word because somebody, one of my critics, I didn't receive as much criticism as I thought I would, maybe hoped for. But one person said I'm going to be creating magical bullies by releasing such information. And my premise is the magical bullies exist. And the magical bullies tend to prey on those that don't have the tools to defend them. Just like bullies on the playground, they pick on the little kid, the weak kid, the one that can't defend themselves. The magical bullies tend to pick on people that don't do magic, or people that don't know enough magic. But then we get into the witch wars. In the witch wars, we got people in the same town warring with each other. I don't know why it happens, but it happens. Witches, by their very nature, whether you want to call yourself a hoodooist or a conjure person or whatever faith, you're like manipulating roots and things and burning stuff and chanting in foreign languages to cause change in the external world in accordance with will. You're doing witchcraft. That'll be my definition for it. There's other people's definition. You can call it magic, you can call it sorcery, you can call it lots of other things, but those are all witchcraft too. That's what you're doing. You're doing witchcraft. You're a manipulative person. You're not satisfied with consensus reality and believe it is your right to manipulate the very fabric of nature to suit your will. I'm not saying that's wrong, but that's the kind of person you are if you're practicing witchcraft. You're not just satisfied with what you got, with what you were handed in life. You want to make lemonade out of your lemons, right? Yeah. So if you think that kind of person is not going to also manipulate things against you if they have an issue with you, you're delusional, all of those things, and you probably should not do this. Go become a born-again Christian or something. It's a dangerous world, this magical world. It's a fucking Shark Tank. People will attack you at the drop of a fucking hat just to prove a point. And I wish that was not the case. And many Wiccans and other people will tell you that's not the case. A magical attack rarely happens. Maybe we're not traveling the same fucking world, because it fucking happens in the world I'm in. My world's all witches. Even my private Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, is populated by fans and friends who are all witches, who are all magical workers. I have I have some political posts, but I rarely have mundane posts on my page. That's not even my Birch Tree page. Everything's fucking witchcraft, and everybody I know's doing some sort of witchcraft or some sort of magic. And all those people can turn on you and drop a hat. Not always magically, sometimes they'll just fucking turn on you. And I'm a big boy. I ain't bitching about that. I'm telling you how it is. I'm telling you the real world. Because there's a bunch of motherfuckers out here that are going to give you a bunch of fluff and light and try and tell you, oh, no, it's fine. Nobody ever hurts each other. Everything will be okay. And that is fucking irresponsible. You are in danger going onto this battlefield with that belief, thinking that we're all nice, we all get along, we all cooperate. No, I wish we were. A bunch of backbiting motherfuckers, and they're just like this. They have some sort of fucking ego problem one day. We'll just throw something at you, just to see what will happen, and watch on Facebook to see you fucking react, and just to make them feel more powerful. Because shit happens. It happens far too often, happens far too much, and the premise of this video is that that's not what I'm trying to do with the spiritual warfare. I'm trying to arm those people who are not armed, that will be attacked by those who are. People that do not know the art of spiritual warfare, that are attacked by somebody who does. I guess you can call me like an arms merchant. Actually, in that respect, I believe in arming both sides. While I don't want to argue the efficacy of the idea of mutually assured destruction, once somebody has the nuke, that's the best thing we've come up with. The only thing, it goes all the way back to, God, what the hell was that movie now? I had it a second ago and lost it, but the only way to win a game of nuclear war is not to play, not to start in the first place, but once a country's got nukes, its enemy has to have nukes. And people realized that back in the day. Scientists and game theorists put this system together that we have now, called mutually assured destruction. When one side would get the nuke, they'd make sure to get the other side the nuke, and that's the only thing that kept the first side from using the nuke. It's fucked up, but it's the only thing that's worked. And so, magically, I guess I believe in the mutually assured destruction. I want to arm the side that's not armed, so they don't get attacked by that side that's armed. And that's still not what this video is about yet. That's my lead in. I'm the storyteller. I got to tell the story the way I want to tell the story. Witch wars. What the fuck? I have been in them. I am in them. I engage in them. I have never fired the first shot. Never. And in my life, I have never thrown the first punch in a fight. And as such, I was assaulted. I was attacked. And when attacked, I can respond with a vehemency that I just cannot justify in any other course. I could not bring up that vehemency to attack a person outright. Maybe I'm, believe it or not, I'm just too nice a guy. I usually get slapped a couple times before I wake up and attack, but then I respond. And I respond with the fullest of force, because there's nothing holding me back. There's no moralistic inkling that's going to stop me from throwing what I have to throw, because I have been assaulted. My family's been endangered. My home's been endangered. I will throw without reserve. And that is the only really way to throw. If you can't hurl that lightning bolt and let it completely go, mentally, believe you're justified enough. There's not anything holding you back. Like, oh, maybe they weren't so bad. That little fucking thought right there is going to kill you. That's where you get your magical backlash. That's where I don't even know if I want to call it the threefold law, but the stuff that they call the threefold law, That's where it's going to get you. You throw something that you're not fully committed to throwing, you get backlash. And worse yet, the lightning bolt gets thrown off of trajectory. You must throw it fully for it to have pure trajectory to get to where it's going. And you hesitate for just a second, goes that way, falls on the ground. You can't do that. And I'm still not trying to teach you how to have a better witch war, because here's the thing. Those people are not your enemies. Those people, unfortunately, are your comrades, your brothers and sisters. A few years back, I made a video called The 13 Laws of Leadership, and I caught a bunch of controversy over some of this stuff that I said in the 13 Laws of Leadership. And the thing that I caught the most bitching about in the 13 Laws of Leadership was, I forget what rule it was, or what number it was in the list, but I forget exactly how I even worded the thing. It's just backtrack. It's on my channel. It's right here. You can just search for it and hear the thing. But there is a thing in human group psychology. When a group forms, the group, shortly after forming, once it reaches cohesiveness, that group needs to compare itself to another group, usually in an adversarial fashion. In other words, a group reaches a point naturally that it needs an adversary to solidify itself as a group. And you can bitch about this, you can call me an asshole for saying this, call me all kind of names. I don't give a fuck. You want to deny reality, you go suffer it. This is the mob mentality built into our species, and I wish it didn't exist, but I'm not going to deny what exists. If you are the leader of a group of witches, magical practitioners, whatever you want, if you fail to designate a them that is not the us will find a them within the us. Faction fights. Brothers and sisters in the same group warring upon each other. This will happen. Deny it all you want. Fucking throw some fucking fluff and white light about it. Say, Birch, you asshole, I can't believe you fucking said that. It's human fucking psychology. And if you're in charge and you fail to recognize that, you will have them within us. Us and them, it's a natural human condition when groups come together. And if you don't designate it, it's either going to be them in your group, or there'll be some other magical group nearby that they start warring with. It's fucked up, but this is what happens. Now, that's just a lead-in to my thing. So I, being a leader of many groups, and now the internet, and I have initiates all over the world, very little done to like organize those people or fucking do anything, but I'll fucking do it right now. I, Birch Tree, designate the enemy, the Christian church, and all versions of the Christian church. I am not the enemy of Christians, but I am the enemy of the Christian church. They are our enemy. This goes back to the dawn of them, the creation of Christianity, and the very early origins of the Bible that creates the Christianity that we have now. Jehovah said, you shall not change one word. Change not one word. And then they all came in and they changed the words. King James, the worst offender of them all, and probably where most Bibles that anybody we know of out there came from. It came from the King James Bible, where the King James not only mistranslated, he specifically changed words, not by mistake, because he had an issue with witches. A certain clan, it was the Birch witches, I believe they were, and the Birch witches were allegedly in league with the Earl of Buckwald in a conspiracy against him. Allegedly, this is all King James said that. Who fucking knows? He could have just been paranoid. But he specifically switched the word venefica to malefica. And in the Latin, venefica is poisoner, malefica is witch. So it said, thou shalt not suffer a poisoner to live. King James's issues against witches made him change it to, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Your average fucking Christian out there doesn't give a fuck what it says, doesn't want to know what the prior translation is. They're reading out of the King James, and either they don't believe their religion, they're a bad Christian, or they believe that shit. And in this day and age, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, I'm going to say it again because I'm the only one that ever fucking says it. Here in America, in these past couple years, when the Christian right was starting to take over our country, it was put forth by some of these members of the Christian right, of GOP, fucking Congress, Senate people, that forcing people not to discriminate against gay people is a violation of the Christians' religious rights. And this has flown from, wedding cakes to I think it was a congressman that floated out there. He said that it would be a violation of his religious rights to stop his kid from gay bashing gay kids at school. And nobody said shit. It happened. It went right over everybody's heads. I don't know if any laws got enacted, but the fact that somebody fucking said that in this fucking country and nobody said boo should tell you, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, what scary fucking times we live in. If they can say that and get away with it, when gay people are not even fucking mentioned in the Bible, Jesus has nothing to say about gay people in the fucking Bible. The Old Testament doesn't even have anything to fucking say about gay people in the Bible, but it sure has a lot to say about witches. And it ain't good, and it ain't pretty. And you mark my fucking words, the fact that they were allowed to say that doesn't put us far from somebody saying that forcing them to suffer a witch to live is a violation of their religious rights. This is the world we live in. Deal with it. Face it. If you ain't scared of this, you should be. If you're in another country and you think this doesn't affect you, you're wrong. I'm sorry. We're America. We fuck everything up. I wish that was not the case, but the fact is, this country has a huge influence on the whole fucking world, and when we fuck shit up here, we fuck shit up everywhere. When our stock market gets fucked up, everybody's stock market gets fucked up. You think that the Christians taking, the right-wing Christians, the evangelical Christians taking over this country, you think that's not going to affect your fucking country? You got another thing. I hope it doesn't. I don't want that to be, but history has shown that we got a long fucking arm. I like the fact that a lot of countries are breaking with America and they won't deal with Trump, they won't take him seriously. That could be your only hope. I hope that works out for you. I don't know how that's going to help us over here. We're trying to get rid of them, but I want to fucking put that out there right now. Fucking stop the witch wars. You have a real enemy bent on your demise. It is organized, it has money, and it does not pay taxes. And it has come a long way in the past few years. And right now, there's nothing to stop it in America, Kaka. There is nothing to stop them. They are the majority. They are the most psycho right-wing Christians I've ever heard of in my life, running the country right now. I ain't even talking about Trump. Trump ain't even a Christian. He's a fucking yes boy for the Christians. He's going to be a yes boy for all those fucking guys and do whatever they fucking want him to do. And he's a piece of shit. Don't fucking get me wrong, but he ain't a Christian piece of shit. He's just playing along with the Christians because they're his fucking voter base, as are the Nazis and the Klan. I think he is a Nazi. I think he probably is Klan, but he is not a fucking Christian. So there we got it. The church is your enemy, and they're the Nazis. Nazis are your enemy. The Klan, all of our enemies. So next time you're getting ready to start a witch war or engage in a witch war, just you can go watch my videos and learn how to conduct the witch war. But it doesn't have to be a witch war. It's just spiritual warfare. You can go learn how to conduct spiritual warfare. But on each other, y'all don't get it, man. Y'all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. And maybe many factions out there and different cultural traditions, but you want to know what? They're all going to call you witchcraft. They're all going to call you witchcraft. I don't care if you're voodoo. I don't care if you're hoodoo. I don't care if you're Apollo. Especially if you're from one of the ATRs. They're going to really come down on you. They're probably going to call you the witches first. They'll probably haul away the dark-skinned witches before the white-skinned witches. That's fucking true. That's the way it'll fucking go down. They're going to come down on the dark-skinned religions, versions of witchcraft first. They've been doing that forever. So you ain't out of the boat. And I don't care if you want to call yourself Catholic. I don't care if you want to call yourself Baptist. Stuff you're doing is witchcraft, and the church has been organized against that for a long time. There's some good Christians out there. I don't want to be at war with all of you, but your church. You want to just go along and do whatever your church says, well, then maybe we're going to butt heads down the road. But that's not what I aim at right now. I'm thinking there's a whole lot of witches out there. If I could just get the message across to some of them, maybe to make a dent. And there's plenty of time to war on each other later. In the Spanish Civil War, when the communists and the anarchists came to fight the fascists, they didn't turn on each other till almost the end. Would have been better if they waited till the end, because then they actually lost the war. But once they got to where they kind of thought they had an upper hand, then the communists turned on the anarchists. The anarchists respond, and then ultimately the fascists win. So maybe if you really all just need to go about this witch war thing, we just call a ceasefire till these other enemies are dealt with, and we can kill each other and zap each other. That's fine. That's fine. But there's a goal that would benefit us all, and it's a worthy goal. Attack, bring down that fucking church, bring down that Klan, bring down those Nazis. And once the battlefield is cleared, we can draw up new battle lines. New people can go fight. But right now, those other witches are not bent on your demise. They don't have the time, money, and resources that your real enemy does. They bent on your demise, and they're in control of the government. They coming for you. So I'm going to say this. I want you to listen closely and share this where appropriately, if you feel the need. Because I'm kind of public with my witch wars. I, Birch Tree, Michael Carell, it's September 6th. I believe it's September 6th, 2017. Hereby declare a ceasefire in all the witch wars I am engaged in. I will cease fire for 3 days. 3 days. And my messages tend to always get to the people I have hostilities with. I don't know if they subscribe to my channel or what, but there's always somebody that's going to pass them along. A friend of me out there is going to pass the message along. But I'm a ceasefire for 3 days from all of my witch wars. My protections will still be in. Don't worry about that. But I'm going to cease hostilities, cease assaults, attacks, counterattacks, even counterattacks. I'm giving big here. All of them for 3 days. I am aware of all of the energies of all of the people that I have hostilities with. And maybe you, I don't know, maybe you're watching. But I'm extremely aware. I'm in a world where it's all spiritual. My full-time job is spiritual. That's all I do. So I'm fully in tune, and I will know if you ceased fire. I cease fire, and if you cease fire, we can have peace, and hopefully focus on them. We don't need to worry about us. We're not a big problem. We're a thorn in each other's side, maybe. We may piss each other off a little bit here. We may aggravate each other a little bit. These motherfuckers over here want to kill us, okay? They want to burn you at the stake, or hang you, or press you, whatever. That shit's never gone away, and that beast is gaining power, and it's going to come. Before it comes, I will be the first to lay down my arms and declare a ceasefire. This includes all witch wars, including Susan D. and Foxworthy, and all the allies of the people that have warred against me, that I have responded to, because again, I ain't never fucking started shit. And y'all can play all you want, but I always made really sure before I ever threw back on any of y'all and knew exactly what was fucking going on. And there was one of you fucking all out there, I never threw, Papa. Papa, I never threw at you. I know who did, but you threw at me, and I still never threw back. If my protections responded, what am I gonna do? But I never threw back. You know what I'm fucking talking about. So I will put that out there to all of you, and I want you to understand. This is coming from Birch in a position of advantage. Okay, I am not hurting by any fucking means. People don't move to West Hollywood because they're hurting. Okay, people that are not doing well don't move to West Hollywood. Okay, I'm way better than when I had a brick and mortar and was stuck in the little sleepy town of Santa Cruz in a very small pond. I'm in a very larger pond now. I'm doing great. I don't mean to brag, but it ain't bragging if it's true. So I'm not coming from a place where I need to declare peace. I need to declare peace because I recognize this external enemy is going to bring about all of our demise if we don't do anything about it. We have all these magical people. They just come together and focus on them and quit attacking us, then us will be stronger. This was my premise when I opened my shop in Santa Cruz. There, within a year or so, another shop opened just up the mountains from us. And we embraced them with open arms. We invited them down to our anniversary party. I'm still, good friends with the owner of that store. I think we're good friends. I embraced them, brought them in the back room of my shop, opened my files. I said, look, you're new. If any way I can help, here's my distributor files. I'll give you any distributor you want. From this bunch of files, you can run an entire occult shop. And we got along fine. My view, having come from Long Beach, was that the more witch stores in an area, the stronger the community in that area. I was naive in thinking that everybody followed that belief. Some people have witch stores that are just capitalists, that are just business people, that there's nothing spiritual at all. and I have clashed with some of those people over time. And most of the shops I'm talking about closed well before a lot of the other stuff. But some people are not in it for the community, are in it for the long haul. And didn't work out that way. But I found out one day that I didn't need to deal with any of that shit, and that my whole living's coming off the internet, and that I was wasting a bunch of money on overhead and rent and taxes and license fees and on, paperwork, just to stay in a place that was too small to keep the business afloat. If you don't have enough witches in your area and you open a brick and mortar, and the brick and mortar is your bread and butter, you better have a lot of fucking witches around. You better be in Salem or something, man. But then you're going to have a whole bunch of competition. So, anyway, that was my premise was always like about the broader community, bringing people together. Eventually somebody woke me up to the witch war that I was already in, regarding that one day. I was naive, believing what I believed. I don't believe it anymore. So I guess I made my main points. And what's that? 36 minutes? That's not bad. But there's my thing. While I'm amused by some of the witch wars that go on out there, the public ones, and I will probably still cover them on my show because it's funny. And if I don't have material, I need to put a show out that night. I'm going to come up with what I come up with, and I'm going to roll with what I roll with, and people are just going to have to deal with that. But I don't want anybody to think that I'm advocating that, and I'm not advocating that with the spiritual warfare. I think spiritual warfare can happen on several other battlefronts, and there are better and more important battlefronts to put that on. So maybe y'all can work out a ceasefire with your people. Anybody wants to, anybody out there, it's like, you want to contact me, we can formalize our ceasefire. Y'all know where to find me. I'm fucking so out of the broom closet, I'd never get back in if I wanted to. You can contact me, we'll formalize our ceasefire. I'm doing fine. I know people are still firing at me. It doesn't seem to be working. I have this shield mechanism that really turns the magic sent at me into things I want to manifest. So it really doesn't behoove me to get my enemies to have a ceasefire. It's actually better for me for them to keep throwing. But for the better whole of the community, I'm gonna put that out there, and I'd like to ask other people, maybe you can work something like that out, where ceasefires in warfare always work better when you have a mutual enemy. That's really the only time they work. That's the only time they work. You've got to have a ceasefire because you're going to get these guys, and the other ceasefires when it's still us and them. And us and them decide to ceasefire, they're going to fucking fire again. So it's the best ceasefire. So if you can work out a ceasefire with your witch war enemies and agree to focus on a mutual target, guess what you get then? Allies! That's a much better idea. You take that, put that in your pipe, smoke it.